Voyage.
In Walmart's Nouvelle, time was ticking away. Only a few nights left till the big holiday. But last-minute gifters had no need to worry. Walmart Express Delivery got their gifts in a hurry. From Nintendo to Nespresso and Lego flowers, they could check off their lists in as fast as an hour. All of Nouvelle, East, West, South, and North, could order gifts up until 5 p.m. on December 24th. So this holiday, just do as the Who's do. With gift delivery this fast, they all gasped. From Walmart? Who knew? Subject to availability, terms and fees apply.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
The old becomes new again.
You like it? Nancy got it for me. There's a store on Colfax. That's all they sell. Isn't that strange? Do you think it sounds different? I can't tell. They say it sounds better.
Though Dirk was in his 50s, he was still like a child.
An oldie but a goodie. Isn't that what they say?
Dirk, you're pulling ahead of Ramirez, even amongst Latinos. All you need to do is stay consistent, and this is a walk to the presidency.
That's great, Jonas.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
It's just me, Dirk. What is it?
The reason I'm gonna win is people want peace, stability, justice. They want the America they've heard about. We can give them that, right?
Of course.
But what about all the other things?
I don't follow.
The other policies that we want to implement.
The changes will be gradual, over a long period of time. No one will object. At least not in a way that will stop us by then.
Right.
If my father Helmut were here, he'd have already slapped Dirk. Dirk was as American as could be. No trace of an accent, no reason he would have one. He was born and raised here. But my father, Helmut Mussmann, try as he might, could never fully hide his slight German accent. In private, when he relaxed, it came out more. He had always told me that Americans, even those who are friends of the cause, were never to be trusted. Decades of work had been put into Dirk. He had been molded into 2 people in one body. The first was the face. A clean face, impervious to scrutiny, implacable in the face of pressure. Fresh white kitchen tile covering a foundation of dark, strong German wood. That was the second person, the soul of Thor, of Thor's plans for this country and eventually the world. Yet, as I looked at Dirk now, it seemed all there was the face. There was nothing beneath that spotless white kitchen tile. The German wood was simply missing, like it had never been there. Tell me what you're saying. Speak plainly.
Well, some of the things we have planned, they don't seem like us, like what we stand for.
They're precisely what we stand for.
What threat are Jews to us now?
Dirk.
I've been endorsed by every major Jewish organization in America, even organizations that don't agree with each other. Why can't we just do what we say? What's wrong with peace?
There will be peace.
Right, I know, but for everyone.
It should have been me, not this blank-faced idiot. But my father was not capable of fathering a biological son. I sometimes wondered if his impotence had anything to do with the harm that had been inflicted upon him during the war. I'd only heard whispers and rumors about the extensive surgeries performed on his face. It was noticeable if you spent enough time with him. Little imperfections in his skin, the artifacts of reconstruction on his face. My adoption, even with my pure ancestry and my birth parents' association with Thor, still left me as somewhat of a bastard child in the eyes of my father's inner circle. Where they had found Dirk, I never knew. It was like they had grown him in a pod somewhere. It should have been me, and we never would have had this issue. How can you say that?
I know. But maybe some of the ideas we've been raised with, Jonas, maybe they're out of date. It was a different time.
A different...
Oh, Jonas. Dirk didn't tell me you were coming over. I could have tidied up.
The house was immaculate, and I genuinely couldn't tell if Nancy was being serious. Being with these two was like being trapped in a model home with two robots attempting to pass as human.
Sorry, sweetheart. Surprise inspection from the boss here.
Can I get you anything? We have coffee, tea. I've got these great flavored seltzer waters. You should really try one.
I'm fine, Nancy. Thank you.
Campaign stuff, I assume? It is a Sunday. Even future presidents should get a day off, no?
Jonas says we're polling really strong. Even stronger than a few weeks ago.
Well, that's great.
Nancy's marriage to Dirk had been arranged, planned for decades. Not just for her purity, but for her psychology. Her parents had volunteered before she was born. Child development experts within the Thor umbrella had been consulted. A careful, years-long process was instituted. It was essential that her father was a stable, positive presence in her life, that her mother modeled a willingness to be deferential to her spouse in front of Nancy. And then, the critical stroke, a flaw, when Nancy was 14 years old. Her father had struck and killed a migrant crossing a highway. After seeing that the man was dead, they drove home. Nancy watched as the police came to the house. She watched her mother staunchly insist to the policeman that no, her father had not been driving on the highway that night. She'd watched her mother scrub the front of their sedan, wipe down the wheels to clear the vehicle of any blood or body matter belonging to the dead man. An accident that was not an accident. Police that were not police. A migrant that was not a migrant. At the most essential moment of her development into a young woman, Nancy learned, you stand by your man, no matter what.
Are you staying for dinner, Jonas?
No, I have to get back to the campaign headquarters.
Oh, is that open on Sundays?
We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No one's going to just give us the presidency, unfortunately.
They love him already. We'll get there. Who wouldn't love him?
Thank you, sweetheart.
She propped herself on the arm of the love seat Dirk was seated on. He pulled her close and kissed her. For some reason, I felt sick to my stomach.
She's already got plans to redecorate the White House.
Lady Bird Johnson redesigned the East Garden, and Jackie Kennedy renovated the Blue Room. I've got so many ideas.
You're cute when you get excited.
Oh, stop it.
She really will be the prettiest first lady by a mile, won't she?
Absolutely. I repressed the urge to gag. I had not been raised with this revoltingly public style of affection. Love was implicit, never explicit. A pat on the back said more than words could. I was raised to be of use. My father Helmut was most pleased with me when I learned a skill like hunting or carpentry or how to repair a car. I earned affection. It wasn't freely given. But these two lovebirds were blissfully unaware that every step of their lives had been debated in a meeting for weeks. Nancy thought she met Dirk by chance in college at a party. She was a cheerleader. He was the backup quarterback for the Colorado football team. The plan had been for him to be the starter, of course. One more way Dirk's potential and his reality hadn't come to match up. The coach's feedback had been that Dirk had all the physical talent in the world, but he was missing something all great football players have, a mean streak. I'll leave you two to enjoy your morning. Sorry for the intrusion, Nancy.
Take something for the road. You work too hard. You need something in your belly.
I'm not hungry, but thank you.
Nancy made some Kartoffelpuffer this morning. They are amazing. Take some.
He pronounced it like an American. What I realized as he did is that he was an American. Our new Führer was as harmless as a golden retriever.
Come with me to the kitchen. It'll just take a second. Here, take the whole thing. We had too many of these this morning anyway.
All right, thank you.
How's your wife doing?
She's well. She sends her love.
We should all have dinner sometime. Maybe after the campaign is over. You know what? Maybe you can be the first couple we host at the White House. Wouldn't that be something?
You really love him, don't you?
Well, yes. Of course I do.
That's good. It's nice.
He's a good man. You might be too, if you let yourself.
There it was. The 14-year-old watching her mother on her hands and knees wipe blood off a fender. I'm responsible. 70 years. My father's life was for this. If I fail, his life, my life, was for nothing.
Dirk will do what needs to be done.
Sometimes a good man must do cruel things for the greater good. Do you think he can?
I'll make sure he can.
We've spent his whole life trying to make sure of that.
He got elected governor, didn't he?
That was the appetizer. This is the main course. He hasn't had to get his hands dirty yet.
If I have to hold his hand as he plunges it into shit, so be it. I will be there to do it. He just needs to understand he's doing it for the greater good. And he will. I'll make him understand.
I hope so.
Get some sleep. You're not thinking straight. And Jonas, next time you come to my home, you call first.
I realized with a start that I now liked Nancy. But Nancy was wrong about one thing. I was thinking straight. Maybe for the first time in a long while. I hadn't heard from the men I'd sent to deal with Aaron Kantervix and Mickey Cohen. There was a protocol for them not to contact me. I could only hope they were delayed somehow. I'd have to go elsewhere for what I needed. His real name was Uwe. He went by Vince. Ironically, like the Jews with their Hebrew names, we now had our German names and our American names.
I'd ask if you'd come to worship, but I know you better than that.
Meet me in the parking lot.
My brother thanks you for the donation to the church.
44% of American Christians are Protestant.
Put a nice plug for the campaign in the Sunday sermon.
Thank him for me. Shame you don't work with him. What an asset that would be.
Identical twins don't have identical fingerprints, unfortunately. If they did, I'd never have to worry about an alibi.
Where did you go wrong, you think?
Who says I did?
Fair enough. There's a problem I need you to solve.
Okay.
It's our friend's lady.
Our friend.
Who you think, yes.
That's quite a problem.
It needs to be performed a certain way.
Loudly?
Very loudly.
That means scrutiny.
I presume you'll cover yourself?
Well, yeah, no shit. Of course I will. But something like this, with how public it'll be. This isn't a city councilman. It's not a judge and some local cops.
Are you saying it can't be done?
Anything can be done. For the right price.
I assumed a premium.
A premium is putting it lightly. I'll be lucky to survive.
I have broad discretion.
A plane that day. And then enough for a presidential term. For myself and the driver.
Who is the driver?
We've worked together before. He'll go with me, then and after. For what you'll pay, he'll do so happily.
Can he be trusted?
After this, he and I will either both be dead or we'll both be gone.
What if we win?
Then I'll send you a postcard.
Where?
In Laos, there's a Buddha park. It's not a temple. A monk who studied Buddhism and Hinduism made these giant statues. Buddhas, animals, humans, demons. One so big you can walk into the demon's mouth. But the biggest is a reclining Buddha, 120 meters long. That'll be me, the reclining Buddha. There's no coming back from what you're asking me to do.
I need to clear it, the amount.
In cash. Put it on the plane.
Fair enough.
Any phrasing?
How's your Hebrew?
Not existent.
We'll decide something short. You can practice. I doubt any reporting will question the quality of your pronunciation.
That's fine.
Okay. We stood for a moment in silence, looking up at the church that loomed beside us. Why do you go?
To pray.
It happened 3 days later. I had to privately confer with Thor leadership. The sum of money this would cost was not insignificant. It was so large that we had to find a way to account for it. It was lumped into our advertising budget. Nancy was visiting the Children's Hospital in Aurora. That touch was Vince's idea. A little twist of the knife to help accomplish our true goal. The man understood things deeply. He could have done my job. Nancy spent the day with bald children sick with cancer, smiling, laughing, being a charming role model beyond reproach. It brought me no joy to do it, but it needed to be done. I could only hope it would work, so I could tell myself that, in the darkness, when I struggled to sleep. Nancy had a Secret Service detail as the spouse of a presidential candidate within 120 days of an election, but not as large of one as a president or even a presidential candidate would. Vince approached wearing a ski mask and shouted a phrase in Hebrew, Ha'am Hanevchar, the chosen people. He shot Nancy twice in the chest and fled into a getaway car that pulled up right on cue. The Secret Service detail apparently managed to shoot Vince at least once and definitely shot up the getaway vehicle. Photos of the bullet holes in it, once it was recovered, were on the TV news immediately. Vince and his driver ditched their first car and swapped into another, a quarter-mile from the hospital, pulling into a nondescript garage and pulling out in a completely different vehicle. They were on the jet to Laos by the following morning. Vince had been wearing a vest, which had saved his life.
Tonight, continuing developments in the investigation into the assassination of Governor Dirk Wolf's wife, Nancy Wolf. While the Secret Service has insisted that their investigation is ongoing, law enforcement sources are telling us that they believe the shooter's motive was likely some sort of religious-based vendetta against Governor Wolf. Widely viewed as a centrist candidate, Governor Wolf has consistently polled with strong support from American Jews, making the assassination all the more shocking. For more on this story, we turn to former White House National Security.
There was no reason for a Jew to kill Dirk Wolf's wife. Jews loved him. He somehow managed to be broadly supportive of American Jewish causes and concerns without alienating Muslim Americans. A real nimble balancing act. This wasn't accidental. We had studied for decades and knew a broad, diverse base of support was essential to be elected president. The reason Nancy had to die is that Dirk, it seemed, had started to believe the lies he'd been taught to preach. All of the grooming in the world had not been able to overcome a man earning the love of a nation for the words, contrary to his upbringing, that he spoke. Regardless, the seeming lack of motive on the part of the shooter was shrugged off. Who knew what motivated a madman? That's how the public took it. Dirk took it differently.
I don't want to go out there.
I know. I'm sorry.
It doesn't make any sense.
Of course it does.
Why?
It was a warning.
What have I done that I deserved such a warning?
No one deserves this. But you have to understand, Jews play a major role in this country.
I've done nothing to indicate...
I know, but they know who you are. Who you really are.
You're saying Aleph Bet did this?
Yes. They want you to step down because they're afraid you'll win.
She was not a threat to anyone.
But you loved her, and they knew that.
How do you know they were behind this?
If not them, then...
A lone maniac, like the news says.
Let's not be naive.
I don't know how to live without her.
Now you have to live for her. That's what she would want.
This speech. Who wrote this? Not Bernard.
Bernard wrote the first draft.
This isn't how we speak. Our campaign.
We're in an unprecedented moment.
I'm not sure I'll even be able to speak.
If you show emotion, that's not a bad thing.
How could anyone do this?
I've tried to tell you, this is the world we need you to protect us from. This is the real world. This is what they're willing to do to stop you.
I need a few minutes.
Take your time. I left him there, his eyes wet with tears. In my heart of hearts, I believed Nancy would have understood. The ultimate sacrifice. One final act of support for her man. Blood on the fender. Only this time, it was hers. With cameras rolling from a respectful distance away, Dirk spoke at Nancy's funeral. And boy, did he.
Peace at all costs. Peace with honor. Peace with power. Peace with preparation. You've heard me say these things before. Today, I'm going to say some things you haven't heard me say before. There was a great man, Judge Hiram Alexander, who once led this party, the National Independent People's Party. One of the last things he said was that we would bring together a state that had been torn apart by dissension. And then he and Harley Bentley, another great man from the great state of Colorado, were gunned down in cold blood. Just like my wife, in the parking lot of a hospital for children. Her greatest crime was loving me, and she died for it. I believe in peace. But sometimes in this world, peace must be won through strength. Sometimes you are either the nail or the hammer. And though we are a party of peace, on a mission of peace, we will not be afraid to be the hammer. Not everyone shares our belief in a peaceful world. You can extend an olive branch to a man, but if he takes it and breaks it in half, you must have the strength to ensure peace. When someone demands war, you give it to them until they beg for peace. When we started this party, 3 good men were assassinated for daring to speak for peace. Hiram Alexander, Harley Bentley, Albert Zanoski. And now my wife has paid that same price. But we will not be deterred. No. If you strike us down, we come back stronger. Our enemies are here. They may be wolves in sheep's clothing, but they're here. And when I become president of the United States, know for a fact that I will not hesitate to prosecute our enemies, foreign and domestic, that stand in the way of the great peace that I will bring to this country. So help me God.
I stood in the back, watching, buoyed by an immense sense of exhilaration. Nancy had made sure Dirk could live up to his responsibilities. Our new Führer was here.
Endgame is a production of Voyage Media. The series is produced by Nat Mundel, Robert Mitas, and Dan Benamor. Executive produced by Norman Shabel, based on Norman Shabel's novel, The Aleph-Bet Conspiracy, available on Amazon. A link is in the show notes. Directed by Semmel. Written by Dan Benamor. Starring Maya Imani Estephanos as Carmen and Mitch Urban as Volkov. Additional cast credits available in the show notes. Edited, sound designed, and mixed by Christopher Moore. Original music by Derlis Gonzalez. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you're listening.
And subscribe now for future episodes.